Welcome back to the Viper Miner channel. Today, we're going to go over how I manage all my rigs, all my ASICs, how I make sure things are up and running, and when they go down, and how do I get an alert. Okay. I got a message from a couple of people actually. How do I manage making my life a little bit easier by not having to log into every single device and see if it's up and running? So what I do on a daily basis, I always do. I do it in the morning, I do it in the evening, and sometimes in the afternoon, depending on what my day looks like. I do an eyeball check on all my rigs. Doesn't matter where they're at, where they're located. Most of them are in my garage in a separate like box within my garage. So if you have seen, I'll leave a card up there. My mining build room built out that's in my garage. It works out really well, especially here in Florida. It's been a lifesaver in the sense of not having to run my AC unit 24/7 at full blast. The other I have some mini dojos, like I have some over here on my desk right now because I'm doing some testing with them. I have some window unit servers in different algorithms for different coins, some altcoins that I have. Almost every computer that is always on is mining something. If it's not mining from a graphics card, it's mining Monero or Ravencoin, or not Ravencoin, Ratorium, something, at least on the CPU. So how do I manage all this? And I did, and again, I'll put a link on the card here again. But we set up a TrueNAS server, and we did TrueNAS scale, which is light years better, I think, than a TrueNAS core, because TrueNAS scale, as I mentioned in the other video, is on Ubuntu platform. So it's running Linux, and I can actually access the root and do anything I want to do with it. And since it's open source, I could make changes if I want to. But out of the box, it is a phenomenal NAS server. Let's go over, and the reason, we'll just revisit real quick, highlight what's going on. So if you can see, I have them turned off, but so back when Pincoin, before it rug pulled, I got Pincoin that's I got a couple kernel services nodes here. I actually push these off onto small HP desktops instead, so these are just left over. But as I get my core wallets, I push into here now, and I can spin this up. Like, so if I wanted to get another address for Neoxa, I can spin up the Neoxa virtual machine, let it sync, and I basically spin them up. I have a script in here, so once a week they all spin up, they sync to the blockchain, and then they turn themselves off. The nice thing though is I don't have to wait for it to sync. I can grab an address right away. The only syncing issue, the only reason to sync is just where you have to sync for days or hours. I can get, once you sync, you can get your actual cost or how much you have in your wallet. But this is a whole lot safer, and I explained that in that video. Again, I'll leave a card in the up on top for you. But what I want to talk about on is the apps on TrueNAS. There is a ton of apps that you can grab. So again, if you look at TrueNAS here, you've got a ton of applications that you can pull from the marketplace and push onto the TrueNAS server, and have and you don't even know how to code. You can just be up and running, right? If anybody noticed, here's Chia, right? I'm very excited. So I know Evergreen has got a starter kit. I believe it's a Raspberry Pi in the base, and then the hard drive. So you can get like maybe 6 or 8 terabyte, and the Raspberry Pi for $300, $299, and I'm sure plus shipping. If you already got your TrueNAS, the most expensive part of mining Chia is the hard drives. I would rather load more hard drives into my TrueNAS or start another TrueNAS server to do Chia. And I'm actually looking at possibly doing that. I've actually maxed out. The blade I have is only 4 drives, and I had a bunch of other drives from old NASAs sitting around. They're not very large. They're either 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte drives. But the nice thing about the micro unit that I have, I just went and got a cable. They're all sitting on the outside of the drive. Right, the drives are sitting outside. I'm expanding it that way. But I have an old 4U server blade that I probably will strip and get that up and running as a TrueNAS server. But in any case, this is not what this video is about. This video is about how do I keep tabs on all my equipment. And so you'll see that I have an app installed here, and it's called My Kuma. So you just click on that, and I already have it open over here. And this gives me, once you get it all set up, this gives me tabs on what's going on. So right now I can see my Cadena miner for the last, I think I have these set for every 1 minute. So was that probably, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably every last probably 30 minutes. This has been up. Mini Doge has been up. My Spectrum network's been up. Valkyrie is a desktop that's downstairs. My other office that's running. It's got a couple graphics cards in it. It's got 3 30 Ti's and 1 3080 in there. It also dubs as a my video my gaming system, but it's been up and running as well. And then you can see this is just my website that I started putting together. So I put that in there. I haven't put a lot on here yet because I just started doing this, and this is how I've been doing it. These are my problem childs per se, so that's why they're here. On this side, you can see the history here. So I've got 5 units on here right now that's being monitored, and you can see where my website's gone down for a couple seconds. Not sure why. And this might be, I had to play around with it. That the interval in which it went and checked for that 200 code, I had it too fast, and the hosting company was actually rejecting it. So I might have to back that off a little bit. Valkyrie is my desktop downstairs. It did go offline, it looks like, over here, just for less than a minute. I'm pretty sure this was my, looking at the time in which, that was the time in which my Ubiquity system does an update on the network. So it probably did an update. And you can see my website has been going up and down. That is, I am 99% sure the fact that I'm pinging it too often to see if the website's up and going, and it's just being turned off by the hosting company. You can see my Spectrum internet, which is my internet service, not for my house, but for my rigs. I have 2 separate internet services. So if you watch my videos, you know I have separate internet just for mining. And you can see where Spectrum has been up and down. And it's been crazy. When I first loaded my Cadena miner, turned on my Cadena miner, that day, they had issues, and then they were good for a day, and then they had issues again for another 2 days. And watch my Cadena update video, and I do a little rant on how bad they have been. But so you can see what's going on here. It's real easy to add something in here. I mean, I just go in here and I add what I want to monitor, and how do I want to monitor it, right? So I can monitor by an HTTP. So especially if it's an outside thing, I can monitor by HTTP. I monitor all the ASIC miners by HTTP because I go into the dashboard of the miner to see if I got connectivity to it, and I can do that. And then I can also do pings if I want to. I can do an DNS. I can do a Docker container if I want to. I can do a lot of different connections to see what's going on here, right? So let's say I wanted to see if Google ever went down. I can even do that. So I can turn around and say, okay, I can go Google, my heartbeat again, and this is where I think my problems with my viperminer.com website. How many tries do I get after that? And that retries is before it sends you a message saying it's down. So I want to know right away. So I have it set to 0. Heartbeat interval is 60 seconds on the retry, but this is because I have this as 0. This is really null and void. So if I wanted at least one retry, then what's that? How long before I do that again? You can do some advanced certificate notifications here. And then what is my code? So between 200 and 299 on HTTP and HTTPS is everything's okay. So you should receive an okay back. And that's what I'm looking for. Now, the cool thing is I can actually go in here and let's say I want to not only make sure that my website or my miner is up, but I can do this by keyword. So I can go and I can give it a URL to a specific page, or to make sure I'm actually getting the right miner, I can then put in my keyword. So, like I know every single page has a login button, right? So I can put login. It goes to not only can I ping the HTTP connection, but can I load the page and see a keyword on that page? And that's what I do for my miners. Okay. I didn't even just say, okay, let's save. And then she's adding everything. I got an okay already from Google. So I can see that Google is now up and it has the keyword login on the screen. How do I get notified? I can set up notifications 2 ways. One, I can do it globally or I can do it individually. So let's look at individual. So let's look at this Google one. There's our test up, right? I can come through here and I can say set up notification. And this will be strictly for this particular unit or website or whatever that you're trying to monitor. And I use Telegram because it's on my phone, it's on my desktop, it's pretty much everywhere, so I can go and get an alert right away. But if you look through here, it has got, you can even use Discord if you want. You could do an SMS, which is a text message. You could do Nifty. You could, you name it, it's pretty much here. Okay. You can even do a webhook, right? But you can even do email. I don't know how, it all depends on your email service, how fast you're going to get that in the door. So like, I want to know right away when something goes down. Not because it's so crucial that I get to that thing. One, I want to make sure everything's okay. But two, I don't know what I'm doing. So I want to have that alert right away. So this way I know, okay, I'm not home right now, but I can swing between here and there to get there. So having that real-time information to me is very valuable. Okay. So I use Telegram. And then now let's cancel all this because I'm not going to delete the Google here eventually. So now if I wanted to do notifications for globally, I'm on the dashboard, I set up notification, and then I set it up. This will be for everything, okay? And then if you're using proxies, a little more advanced network security, you can set up a proxy as well here, okay? and then you can go through. I don't do a proxy in my network, so I don't have to worry about it. The other nice thing too here is you can modify the HTTP options if you want to. If you're trying to check see what's going on, you can do this as well. So you have a lot of control over how your devices are being managed on if they're up and down. This is basically enterprise grade software. This is really cool, and it's free. It's free, guys. You can just download this off the internet. You don't have to use a TrueNAS. It just makes it so much easier with TrueNAS. But if you have a computer that's doing nothing, or an old laptop, you can do this. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the video. I know I ran a little bit, but that's how I keep track of my stuff. I have just started using this probably in the last, I'd say, month maybe. And I have added my problem childs on there so far, but my goal is to add everything else on there as well. It works well. It's free. It's enterprise grade. And the notifications are fantastic. So that alone is just really worth it. Again, I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button. Talk to you guys soon. Be profitable. Have a great day. God bless you guys.